Hey, this is Massex with a brand new Yu Yu Hakusho Slugfest video. We got a couple things to go over and one big thing to talk about. So if you haven't noticed already, we've got a rerun of Saizo as well as Genkai in there as the alternate. This one's really up to you. I've done a prior video on this character already, but hey, if you like the character, it's back for its rerun. But what we're here to talk about is our monthly celebration that has now become the norm mid-month. And as you can see right now, we have a brand new Yusuke, which we're going to talk about. You can also pick from Makuro. You can also pick this wonderful SP companion choice ticket, which is really nice because you've got a chunk of people in there from Coco to Tetsuzan, good stuff, and the custom 1-star orange exclusive Siori. So to me, this really comes down to you. If you're a free-to-play player, I would be going for the 1-star orange exclusive Siori because you're probably not going to be able to get the Yusuke up enough shards to make him useful, but we'll dive into that. And of course, I'll do some subsequent testing. So if it's something like Botan, where it is plausible at 1 star to be very effective, then I'll circle back around. Of course, Makuro is no slouch. I absolutely love the character, but we need to talk about the man of the hour, Yusuke Urameshi, Demon World Unification War. And seeing this image, you probably are aware, if you're a fan of the anime and manga, that this looks like it is out of the Yomi fight, which means we're just edging closer and closer to Yomi. One of the things that's interesting is they give us a sneak peek of our next Hiei, the Battle for Demon World Unification, which my guess will be next month, possibly in the celebration if they do it again. Who knows with the holidays, if they're going to tie something in with the holidays, who knows. But we digress. Let's get back to who we need to speak about, and that's who we have today, and that is Yusuke Urameshi, Demon World Unification War. He's an offensive character, absolutely duh. Well, of course he's going to be. He is described as an offensive companion. Basic attacks restore 200 extra skill points. And I said before, he's not going to have anybody to co-op with right now because it's that Hiei. That's okay. But let's look at the nuts and bolts of this character. So, looking at the first spot, the skill. Skill passive. When an allied companion receives healing above 10% of max HP, restores 200 skill points. Yusuke Urameshi doesn't activate his skill through skill points like most companions. Instead, his skill only triggers under special conditions or via other effects. Interesting, because this is what we had with one of the Karamas we had previously too. At the start of odd-numbered turns, dispels all CC effects and gains charge up. At the start of even-numbered turns, removes charge up and triggers the skill. Okay. Skill effect. When triggered, Yusuke's skill scales with his current skill points and resets them after use. Base effect deals 240% physical damage to a single enemy, inflicting true damage equal to 100% of attack. If skill points are greater than 1,000, increases the base damage to 300%. For every 500 skill points Yusuke has, launches an extra attack at one random enemy, each dealing 50% physical damage plus 25% attack true damage. If skill points are greater than 2,000, inflicts 2 stacks of weakness to all enemies and restores 1 battle will. Charge up, of course, is can't act while active, becomes immune to skill point reduction and control effects, and increases final damage reduction by 60%. The effect cannot stack up or be dispelled. Weakness is when hit by skills, temporarily reduces defense by 5%. Defense resumes after the damage calculation effect, lasts for 2 turns, stacks up to 4 times, and cannot be dispelled. Now this skill is going to be based on your stars, so there we go. At 1 weakness upgrade, each stack additionally reduces final damage reduction by 5%. At 3, skill upgrade guaranteed to hit. And at 5, skill upgrade targets the enemy with the lowest HP percentage, heals 2 random allies excluding self, restoring HP equal to 30% of own skill point when casting. Very interesting character right there with its skill. Got to see how this whole kit's going to function together though. Basic attack just deals 50% physical damage to an enemy, absorbs 200 of their skill points, and restores 1 battle will. So there's another way to get skill points. Of course, your passive, it's always the damage reduction, 16% at 2, and at 4 you get the basic stat increase of 24%. Now awakened, at 1, at the start of battle, grants all allies 1 stack of post-battle restoration and inflicts 1 stack of deep wounds to all enemies. Post-battle restoration, when damaged by skills, if fighting spirit is active, restores HP equal to 20% of skill damage taken. The effect cannot be dispelled. Deep wounds, which we've talked about previously, when damaged by skills, if weakness is active, increases skill damage taken by 20%. The effect cannot be dispelled. Now at 3, when casting skills and secret skills, increases ignored defense by 30% and deals an additional 100% final damage to shielded enemies. That's really nice actually. At the start of battle, inflict 1 stack of weakness to all enemies. Very nice. We've already gone over weakness, so we can move on. And at 5, at the start of turn, increase own max skill points by 500, stacking up to 4 times. Ooh, wow. Okay, at 5, he's going to be building those skill points fast. Wow. Okay. Let's look at the secret skill here. The Awakening Spirit Gun spends 3 battle will to deal 126% physical damage to all enemies. For every stack of weakness on the enemy's hit, Yusuke absorbs 100 skill points. After casting the secret skill, grants all allies 1 stack of ice healing. After casting the secret skill for the first time, increase own max skill points by 1,000. Wow. Okay, now we know how he's going to be generating skill points now through his toolbox here. Weakness, we've already talked about that, don't really need to go over it again. And ice healing at the start of turn restores HP equal to 10% of carrier max HP. Effect lasts for 2 turns and stacks up to 3 times. And at 3, the secret skill upgrade goes to guaranteed to hit. Now, secret skill passive. Increases own damage reduction by 20%. At the start of turn, restores 200 skill points. At the end of the turn, restores 400 skill points. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this will not be an issue. And 1 battle will. And grants all allies 1 stack of fighting spirit. After casting the secret skill, additionally grants all allies 1 stack of fighting spirit. And of course, fighting spirit increases skill point reduction resistance by 25%, skill point regen by 15%, healing received by 15%, and final damage reduction by 10% for 2 turns, stacking up to 3 times. And you get an additional benefit at 1. The upgrade to fighting spirit, each stack additionally increases final damage reduction by 5%. This character, there is no way to know for sure how good it's going to be without testing, but there is no doubt this character is going to be able to build up its skill points very quickly. It's interesting how you're going to have the odd even for being able to activate. It does do a lot for your team, though. It's going to help protect your character's skill points. It has possibility of some healing, as well as a host of other things. So it is an interesting offensive character that actually does a fair amount for your team. It kind of reminds me of the Sports Festival Kuwabara, except for the Sports Festival Kuwabara does not do gobbledygook for damage, but his only weak point, because everything else he does for the team is phenomenal. But if this character does genuine big damage and is focusing on low HP character to snipe them off, and this is constantly going off, and you're building up those skill points to 1,000 to 2,000 each time you pull this off. That could be crazy. But again, we don't know till we test, so it's all speculation at this point. Outside of that, this is all basically the same that we've seen before. You're going to have your Gale Honor ranking, which they started, the Gala Challenge, as well as the Fund. So if you're going to spend, the Fund's always a good deal. In the shop though, this time though, they did go ahead in the point shop, and they do have one card in there, so you'll be able to get one copy of Yusuke or one copy of Mikuro. So good news is, if you're working on building up your Mikuro, you might get lucky and be able to get some more shards. That's another nice thing. I wish they would keep it at 2. They've only done 1 where there was 2. That's where it really should be at, in my opinion at least. Discounted shop, nothing's changed. But very interesting character. I'm really curious to see what this character can do. They haven't really disappointed yet with these celebration and event characters. They're all good, okay? And that Halloween Kurama is just freaking dumb in a lot of ways. And for sustained teams, he's absolutely insane. I've been able to work with him a lot, so I have no doubt the character is going to be good. The question is how good and how effective, and he's going to be effective at no copies, 1 copy, 3 copies, 5 copies. That's always the key with these things. That's the problem. So I'll get you some testing as soon as I can. While we're at it, let's just go ahead and do a couple pulls. Let's see how many times it takes us to get him. So let's go. Woo, woo, woo. Flip all. Flip all. Okay, that was a bust and a half. Flip all. Look at that great cinematics. Yeah, they spare no expense in this game. Okay, that's really depressing so far. Okay. They're gonna make me go all the way to 80, aren't they? Not even gonna give me a little video luck. Nope. You're gonna just give me the big middle finger and tell me to F off. Well, fine. So we'll get them this time. Full 80. That's a disappointment. Or I should say this last time. So there we go. There he is. Woohoo! Demon World Unification War. So we'll let the fun begin, because now it's going to be testing. I usually like to test at 1 star, 3 star, and 5 star, so I can see if I can even recommend it to free to play. I'll give it a shot with no stars, but more likely than not, it's not going to be very useful. That's just how it is. But with that, as always, please like and subscribe. Helps a lot. Have a great day.